Hello and welcome to Top Gear India. Now the last time we saw the TVS X, we were at Dubai at the top of the world, and that seems to be where TVS priced it. Now the price seems to be the elephant in the room because at a price of 2.5 lakhs, a lot of people were very upset and disappointed. In fact, they wouldn't acknowledge anything else this scooter does. They couldn't look past the price. So let's address that first. Does the scooter justify the price? Now we spent about 30 minutes with the scooter today riding around a very controlled environment. So I don't think I have a proper well-rounded summary of what I experienced because there's still a lot of data that I could have gotten in the real world which I wasn't exposed to. So I'm going to keep it brief, I'm going to keep it simple. Now let's talk about what the scooter is like. Is the performance, does it blow you away? This is supposed to be the fastest scooter. Yes, in a way, it does perform quite well. Is it better than any other ICE scooter I have rode? I'm not so sure about that. To me, the benchmark would be the Aerox that I'm holding up because I think this would be a good comparison for its ICE counterpart. And is it better than the Aerox? I'm not so sure yet. I'm not fully convinced, you know. Compared to other electric scooters, yes, but by long shot, again, I'm not so sure, especially when you consider the price. Suspension, again, ride quality is really good. I wouldn't say it's the best because, again, controlled environment yet again. However, when I did hit a few bumps around corners, it did tend to upset the scooter a bit. So maybe it's tuned a bit more for the city than it is for corner carving. The brakes, again, it has single channel ABS. It's got ABS in the front. It's got discs both in the front and the rear. And the braking performance is solid. It is there and it's very confidence inspiring. I'm quite happy with it. The handling, again, it's there, it handles very well, it falls into corners really nicely and I have no complaints with it whatsoever. It really masks its weight quite well. Fit and finish. Now fit and finish all of the scooter is top notch. I've had no complaints whatsoever. Sure, maybe the multimedia interface might have a few glitches and bugs here and there, but those all can be fixed via software. When it comes to hardware, there's no issues. The button, the switchgear, the quality, everything is up there. So again, no complaints with it whatsoever. Design. Now beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, so I'll let you guys decide what you think about the scooter, but for me, I do think this looks very upmarket. It looks very rich. The tiny little things that the scooter does, like form meets function. I like that the rear foot pegs are very cleverly integrated and hidden into the design. Something I have seen the Ducati Diavel do, and again, done very well over here. I like the overall design. I am a bit sad that this is the only color you can get the design in because I do think that this design is capable of pulling off a lot more colors. So it's TVS teasing people a bit, I guess. I guess there'll be future variations and versions that might have other colors. What I also appreciate is that TVS didn't design the scooter to be a walking billboard like the other products. In fact, the marketing is very minimal. TVS likes to call it Easter eggs, and I think that's how it should be. It's very minimally mentioned, like tiny little things over here, hidden, like the electric future hashtag in the front, which I don't know why it's there, but it's there. But you know, tiny little things are very cleverly masked and integrated, and I like that it just is hidden in the background and the design is what truly comes out. Okay, now let's talk about the ingress and egress on the scooter, because you cannot get on it like you would a conventional scooter. You have to swing your leg over it like you are sitting on a motorcycle, and I think that can be a bit challenging for perhaps older people. But then again, this is targeted at the youth. So it is comfortable, it's nice, it's spacious for someone of my height. Perhaps would have liked those foot pegs you get on a Bergman where you can just really relax and put your leg out, but yeah, it's okay. I'm not really complaining, it's a minor thing. Now let's talk about the MMI over here, the multimedia interface screen. It's a very high quality screen. It's clear, it's eligible, there's no problems reading it in bright daylight. Also, you can change it between dark or light mode, and there's a lot of customizability baked into it, like your wallpaper, the background, the sounds. There is in fact a JBL speaker baked in here, so you can have different kind of sounds and noises. In fact, you can watch movies on the screen over here and even play games with your friends. Now that's a bit of a controversial addition that TVS made, and a lot of people have been talking about it, and I personally do think that it's a bit of a gimmick, because anything that I can do here I can do on my phone. But apart from that, I like everything else that is there. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the customizability. And in fact, what I also like and find new is that you don't have a key to it, physical key. You can type in a pin, you can use your phone, you can use your smartwatch to connect to this, and it allows a lot of connectivity. In fact, you can have up to 5 different users and they can all access it via pin. Perhaps there could have been a biometric scanner, would have made life easier, but that's okay. That's like, again, going overboard. This is already too expensive as it is. So all in all, I am very pleased with what the scooter is. I am pleased with how it feels. It's got the quality, the hardware feels good. I mean, sure, the software has few bugs and glitches that can be fixed later on. Few that I noticed, like for example, let me talk about the performance now. The performance didn't exactly blow me away today. On 2 separate occasions, the bike randomly turned off and cut off completely when I was in sonic mode, which is the highest mode. just randomly cut off. Around 40 kmph, I would hear a knocking sound coming, which happened twice in the 30 minutes that I spent with it. But it was a very noticeable knocking sound because I felt it in my spine, and it wasn't a bump in the road, because here it's a factory, it's a controlled, well paved tarmac, so I don't know what it was. But yeah, I do think that there's 2-3 things I've noticed that can be solved with software. And since the scooter is set to go on sale by December and January, I think those are things that TVS should sort by then, hopefully. Now, this is all that the scooter is. Now let's talk about what it could have been. When I first heard about the TVS X, I didn't know it was going to be an electric scooter. And when you tell me about the price and everything, looking at the design, I always imagined, why couldn't TVS have put an ICE engine in this instead? You know, maybe done what Yamaha did with the Aerox, the way Yamaha put the R15 engine into the Aerox. Maybe TVS could have integrated, the Apache engine into this. I mean, it could have been the fastest scooter that you could get in India. If you remove the BMW C400 GTR, the equation, it could have been the fastest scooter in the equation, with much better ride quality than the Aerox, much better hardware, much better electronics than the Aerox. And it truly could have been something. But I think making it an EV and adding the battery, since TVS makes the motor and majority of what you see over here on the scooter, except for the battery, that's pretty much from elsewhere. But I do think that this could have been quite the performance proposition. It could have been a lot of things. But as it sits now, TVS claims a range of about 140 kilometers. But today, with the battery charge at 99%, I only saw a range of about 100. And if you go to the highest, the sonic mode, it comes down to about 96 or about 78 or something like that. So now I spent about 30 minutes with the scooter, and in the 30 minutes, it consumed about 15 to 20% of its battery. And yes, I did do 2 fast laps. But I don't think 2 fast laps, I don't know about the real world range. I think in the real world, the range is perhaps closer to about 80 to 90 than it is 140. And I think there are already scooters that promise that kind of range. I think the Ather promises that kind of range. So, except for the mildly added performance, what extra am I getting? I'm paying a significant amount more. Like, I'm paying nearly 1 lakh more than an Ather, right? Like literally 1 lakh more than an Ather. And what more am I really getting? I think there is quality here, there is style here, there is design here, and it all promises a brighter future. But I don't think that is today. I don't think we're here yet. I think the next iteration of the scooter could be the real deal. I don't think this is the one yet. What TVS should have done was should have made something a bit more pocket friendly, because if they were targeting the youth and they wanted to give you a performance bargain, right, or a performance scooter per se, I think there's a lot of other ways that it could have been approached or done than creating something that is well over that. I mean, imagine a youth having to convince his parents that, I want to pay 2.5, perhaps even 3 lakhs on road for a scooter, for an electric scooter, which is going to have about 100 kilometers of range. And it's a bit of a hard sell, I mean, it's got all the little touch points, and I feel like it's a very niche buyer that would want to go for it. And it's sad, it follows the lines of Ultraviolet in a way where it has a lot of things to offer, but at a very high asking price. So yes, I am impressed with the TVS X to a certain degree, but I'm also quite disappointed in a lot of ways. It didn't exactly blow me away, and perhaps it's down to the circumstances that I tested it in. Maybe if I had it out on the road and in the real world, there would be a lot more I could appreciate about the scooter, but as it stands, I am not impressed. And if I had 2.5 lakhs to spend, I think there's a lot of other better products to spend it on than on the TVS X. It's quite unfortunate, but that is the harsh reality. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around to Top Gear India YouTube channel for further updates. This is Gavin Rodriguez. See you guys next time.